Hello dear viewer, welcome. This is Excel Science Tuition and today we're going to learn introduction to chemistry. First of all, I'd like to remind you one thing, that in everything in life you should ensure that you are doing the right thing in the right place, in the right manner, and with discipline surely you will succeed. Today we are going to learn introduction to chemistry and we are going to learn as a continuation of the things that we learned in the last lesson. Now, today, I want us to study the role of chemistry in the society. First, chemistry is applied in the manufacture of food to fight diseases. Chemistry aids in the manufacture of chemicals to preserve foods and also to preserve the containers that are used in storing foods for a long period of time. Also, chemistry is used in the manufacture of cheaper alternative fabrics such as nylon, polyester, and tetron. This is by the application of what we call polymerization. Polymerization is making of polymers, and an example of polymer is polythene or nylon, which is used to make cheaper alternative fabrics such as umbrellas and also shirts and clothes that we use every day. So that is the second role of chemistry in the society. The third role of chemistry in the society is that chemistry aids in the manufacture of plastics for roofing, packaging, and also domestic use. So plastics, for example PVC, which in full means polyvinyl chloride, is the application of polymerization, and as an alternative source of roofing, we have plastic ceiling boards and also plastic roofing, which are cheaper and easily available. Also, we have packaging such as the carrier bags that are made of plastics. They are also cheap, so chemistry aids in making life simple and so on. So in the fourth role of chemistry in the society is the manufacture of detergents and soap for washing and cleaning. If you look at the market today, you will observe that there are many detergents and soaps that are available in the market. All of them have applied the concept of soapening, which is learned in organic chemistry in chemistry. Next, chemistry aids in the production of fuel to reduce global pollution as well as to supplement the fossil fuels available. So for us to choose the means of fuel that you're going to use, it has to be cheap and easily available. So chemistry helps in the fractional distillation of crude oil so as to produce the fractions of oil such as petroleum and diesel, paraffin, and so on, which are also used in the society. Also, chemistry is used in the making of baking powder, which is used as dough in bakeries. So through the knowledge of chemistry, we are able to make breads, cakes, and so on. So those are the roles of chemistry in the society. So now, having learned so much about chemistry, we're going to define it. It is the study of structure, properties, and composition of matter, and the changes that matter undergoes. So chemistry is the study of structures. So we'll study structures, properties, and composition of matter. For example, when we say sodium chloride, it is composed of sodium and chlorine. So that is the composition. When we talk about the properties, we'll be talking about the physical and the chemical properties. When we talk about the structure, we'll be able to draw its structure, whether it is bonding structure or just the molecular structure. Then we're going to study now the apparatus that we use in chemistry. Remember, chemistry is a science, and we have the chemistry lab, which we use when we want to do practicals. So the first thing that you're going to measure in the lab is volume. So we have the first thing is volume. So we can measure volume by using the volumetric flask, syringe, pipette, burette, and conical flasks. So if you are asked in an exam, name 3 apparatus that are used for measuring volume, you can name the volumetric flask, the syringe, the pipette, the burette, and the conical flask. All of these are calibrated and contain measurements of different volumes. Then we have apparatus for measuring temperature. For example, the maximum and minimum thermometers, the clinical thermometers, and the liquid in class thermometers, which we use them in the lab. So in the next lesson, we are going to see the role of each type of thermometer and why they differ. Then we have apparatus for measuring mass, which is, for example, the electronic balances and the beam balances. We also have apparatus for measuring time, which include the analog stopwatch and the digital stopwatch. So all of them are used in experiments, for example, in experiments involving rates of reaction, where we have to measure time. We also have apparatus for heating, when we want to heat substances in the lab. So the first apparatus for heating is the Bunsen burner. So we are going to major our discussion today on the Bunsen burner. Then in the next lesson, we will learn more about the other apparatus. So the Bunsen burner uses butane, or the laboratory gas, as fuel. It is tapped and distributed in the laboratory through gas pipes. The gas pipes end at the gas tap on a chemistry laboratory bench. So if you look at the bench, you can be able to observe that there are taps. So those are gas taps which have tapped the gas from the cylinder. If opened, the gas tap releases butane, or the laboratory gas. So the one characteristic of the laboratory gas is that it has an odor smell that alerts in case of leakages. So the Bunsen burner is fixed to the gas tap using a strong rubber so as to reduce leakages, because those leakages can be very dangerous and can cause accidents. So we are going to learn how the Bunsen burner looks like. This is the structure of the Bunsen burner. It looks like this. So the Bunsen burner has different parts. So we have this part here. This is what we call, this is the pipe that comes from the cylinder. So this is the gas from the source. The source is the gas cylinder. Then we have, this is the base plate. This one is used to provide the surface area so that the Bunsen burner can be stable and not fall. We also have the jet. So at this point, the air from the air hole mixes with the laboratory gas from the jet. So this is where the two gases mix, and then this is where we light. So this is the point in which we will be able to observe the flame. So if you look at this diagram, we have different parts, such as the collar. The collar is the one that we use when we want to adjust the size of the air hole. Whether we want it to be big or small, we use the collar. So the collar aids us to change the type of flame that is going to be produced depending on the purpose that we want. If we want to light, we just use what we call the luminous flame. The luminous flame, as we will learn in the next slide, has 4 zones. So by use of the collar, we are able to adjust. The air hole is just an opening that allows air which is oxygen, to mix with the laboratory gas. So those are the different parts of the Bunsen burner. If you ask the function of the chimney, you will say this is where the flame lights. So we have parts of the Bunsen burner and the different roles. So the base plate is used to ensure that the burner can stand on its own. The jet is the hole through which the laboratory gas enters and mixes with air. The collar is an adjustable circular metal attached to the main chimney with a side hole entry. So we also have the collar. It allows the entry of the gas. So it controls the amount of air entering used during burning. We have the air hole. This is just an entry which, when the collar side hole is in line with the side hole, If the collar side hole is not in line with the chimney side hole, the air hole is said to be closed, so it can be open or closed. So we also have the chimney. This is the tall round metallic rod attached to the base plate. This is where the flame lights. We have the different characteristics of luminous and non-luminous flame. So we are going to distinguish between the two types of flames. So the luminous flame is produced when the air holes are completely closed, while the non-luminous flame are produced when the air holes are fully or completely open. The luminous flame lights when the air holes are fully or completely closed. Therefore, there is incomplete combustion of the laboratory gas. The non-luminous flame lights when there is complete burning or combustion of the laboratory gas. The third difference is that in luminous flame there is incomplete combustion, which causes the flame to be sooty, while in non-luminous flame there is complete combustion, which makes the gas not to produce carbon particle. Therefore, the flame is not smoky or sooty. Then there is the fourth difference. Some carbon particles become white and emit light. So luminous flame is used for lighting because it is mostly yellow in color, while non-luminous flame is blue in color and it is hot. So this one is used for heating, while this one is used for lighting. Also, the luminous flame is larger, quiet, wavy, and can be easily swayed by the wind. For example, the flame that is observed on a candle, that is a luminous flame, which is large, wavy, quiet. It is also sooty, and it produces a lot of light, and it is not so hot. So we cannot use a candle to burn substances. We cannot use it to warm water. But also we have what you call non-luminous flame, which is small, noisy, and steady. So this one is the one that we use in a Bunsen burner for heating and warming substances in the lab. So we have some laboratory rules that we're going to learn today. The first one is that you should not enter the laboratory without the permission, and when you have been given the permission, you should enter in an orderly manner without rushing, pushing, or scrabbling. That is the first safety rule. The second one is that do not try unauthorized experiments because they can produce flammable, explosive, or toxic substances that can affect your health. The third one is that you should waft gas fumes to your nose with your palm. Do not inhale gases directly because some may be highly poisonous and harm you. Also, do not boil substances with mouth of the test tube facing away from. You should not boil substances with the mouth of the test tube facing you. You should boil it when it is facing away from others and also away from yourself, because boiling liquids spat out portions of the hot liquid. Products of heating solids may be highly poisonous or toxic, and when they get into surface with your skin, they may harm you and cause wounds. Also, do not wash with lots of water any skin contact with chemicals immediately. You should wash with lots of water any skin contact with chemicals immediately. So that is what you should do. You should wash with cold running water. And then if the wound is too large, you can seek further medical attention by consulting your teacher or the lab technician. Also, the sixth rule is that you should read and follow safety instructions. All experiments that evolve or produce poisonous gases should be done in an open or in a fume chamber. So in some labs, you'll observe that there is a region that contains glass. That is what we call a fume chamber, and that is where we do practicals that produce poisonous gases. You should also clean your laboratory or workstation after use. You should wash your hands before leaving the chemistry laboratory. Also, in case of fire, remain calm, switch off the fuel gas tap, leave the laboratory through the emergency door. Next, do not carry unauthorized item from a chemistry laboratory. The next one is also that you should not eat or drink anything in the chemistry lab. Also, you should not run or play in the chemistry lab. So you should observe just some of the rules that are applicable in classroom are also applicable in the lab, so as to avoid any cases of accidents and acid burns. So that